Hi there everyone, and welcome to this 1,000 point narrative battle between an unknown foe and the loyal soldiers of the Cadian Infantry Brigade. In the ruins of this once great imperial city, one of the fronts has gone dead silent. For days now, no one has heard anything from the remaining loyal infantrymen manning the comms relay and Vox caster towers at this front. So, a foot-slogging troop of Cadian infantrymen and their machines of war have been dispatched to see where the defenders have gone, as well as reignite communications with the rest of the Imperial forces. In this mission, there are going to be two objective markers that the Imperial Guard need to perform actions on in order to win the victory. In the center of the board is the Vox Tower with one of the objective markers at its foot. Then on the far side, on the opposite side of the board from where the Cadian infantrymen will be starting, is the antenna with the second objective. By the end of this game, each of these objective markers need to have an action performed on them by an infantry squad twice in order for the Imperial Guard to claim victory. That's it. That is all that the Imperial Guard need to do in order to claim victory. That action will complete at the end of the turn, as long as it is infantry doing the action. But as almost everything in the force is infantry, that will be easy to accomplish. The unseen enemy of the Imperium simply need to kill the loyal guardsmen and prevent them from completing those actions on the two objective markers 2 times each. Now let's go into the forces of the Imperial Guard. And here we have our foot-slogging force of the Imperial Guardsmen. This is an unbound narrative report. So this is a little bit looser, a little bit less strictly organized than the usual patrol or battalion of the Imperial Guard. The HQs for the Imperial Guard are a Lord Commissar, 2 Primaris Psychers, and 2 company commanders. One company commander has a plasma pistol, one company commander has a power sword and bolt pistol. The company commander with the plasma pistol will be the warlord for this game. Then following behind the HQs is 1 command squad with a heavy flamer, medipack, meltagun, and Vox caster. Then into the troop slots, we have 3 identical squads of infantry with a Vox caster and plasma gun in each. And then 3 more identical infantry squads with Vox caster and a grenade launcher in each squad. We have 1 special weapons squad with 3 flamers and 3 non-weapon equipped guardsmen. We have a 5 abhuman squad of Bulgrin with what you see is what you get. So they all have the mauls. 2 of them have the power shields and 3 of them have the slab shields. We also have a 5-man squad of rattling snipers, a 3 base squad of heavy weapons, all with missile launchers. And then finally, the only armor in the force are 2 scout sentinels, 1 with a heavy flamer and 1 with an autocannon. That is the forces of the Imperial Guard. The enemy forces that the Imperial Guard are facing today are unknown to them, so they will remain unknown until they show up on the table. The Imperial Guard will be starting on this board edge closer to the Vox antenna, and they will have the first turn to start to spread out and deploy. Neither the Imperial Guard or their unseen enemy are going to be starting with any command points, but in each command phase, the active army will be gaining 1 CP. So the Imperial Guard will start the game with 1 CP that they gain in their command phase. And then once the turn 1 starts for the unseen enemy over on this side of the battlefield, they too will also be gaining 1 command point to start. Now we will get ready to deploy the forces of the Imperium and start their scanning mission of this ruined section of the Imperial City. And here we are after the deployment of the Imperial Guard forces. Starting on this flank of the battlefield, we have the Scout Sentinels, both using their scout move to get into no man's land. So over on this edge of the battle flank, we have the autocannon, and then towards the center is the heavy flamer. Inside of this tall, obscuring, breachable, scalable ruin are the Ratlings up on top, then the heavy weapons squad in the middle row, and then finally in the bottom we have 1 plasma gun squad of infantrymen, a Primera Psyker with Psychic Barrier and Psychic Maelstrom, and then the bolt pistol power sword company commander. Right on the other side, we have another plasma gun squad, grenade launcher squad with the flamer squad up around the building, warlord with the command squad surrounding, 5-man Bulgrin squad, grenade launcher squad, Lord Commissar Primera Psyker with mental fortitude and night shroud, and then finally plasma gun squad. So that is the forces of the Imperial Guard deployed. So now we will go on turn 1 for the Imperial Guard as they move out to secure this section of the Imperial City. In turn 1 for the Imperial Guard, here's how we're looking after the movement and psychic phase. Over on this flank, this Primera Psyker got off Night Shroud onto the Bulgrin, so they will have a -1 to be hit. This infantry squad and this infantry squad both were told to move by the company commander. They have advanced up. In the center of the board, this grenade launcher squad has completed the first action on this objective marker to get the end goal for the Imperial Guard a quarter of the way done. The Flamer squad have moved up just to be behind this ruin. The Sentinels have both moved up closer towards the second objective marker. This one has been given Psychic Barrier, so that's going to be +1 to its armor save for whatever comes streaming onto the table. Then over here, the company commander, Primera Psyker, and the squad moved on up, while in this building, the Ratlings and heavy weapons team have stayed stationary. That's going to take us through turn 1 for the Imperial Guard, but from up upon their perch, the Ratling sniper teams are able to get the first view of the enemy as they stream forward. And the Voxnet erupts in chatters and screams of warning to the company commanders. The call is, "Bugs! Big one! Watch out! Turn one for the Tyranids, and the bugs have arrived in force. Most of the Tyranids have advanced, so that is going to cut off a lot of first turn charges and give a lot of the guns a -1 to hit. But they are all over this side of the field in force. So we have a 10 bug unit of Gene Stealers, 10 Gargoyles. Warlord is a Broodlord with Catalyst and Heightened Senses for his Warlord trait. 3 Tyranid Warriors in the back. Another 10-man squad of Gene Stealers and another 10-man squad of Gargoyles. Lash Whip, Bone Sword, and Devourer on the Tyranid Prime, and then a 20-bug squad of Termagants and 3 Raveners over on this flank. So that is the deployment and the movement phase for the Tyranids done. We'll go right on to their psychic phase for turn 1. The Broodlord is going to attempt to manifest Catalyst, so needing a 6. Getting it with an 8. And this Primaris Psyker is definitely within range to deny, as he feels the Shadow and the Warp overtake the field in a wave of claws and hooved feet clattering over the stones of this ruined city. So let's see if we can deny that. And we cannot with the 6. So Catalyst is going to go on to this squad of Gargoyles. That's going to do it for the psychic phase. Now we will go into the shooting phase. Starting off the shooting phase, this squad of Gargoyles is going to pour everything that they've got into this front squad of infantry. So they do have assault weapons, and they had to advance to get to where they are, so this is going to be on 5s. Only getting 1, 2, 3 hits, and then wounding on 3s, only 1 wound at -1, getting a 6, and getting a 6. So the opening shots for the Tyranids will not be enough to take any of the infantrymen out. We're going to move right on to that squad of Gargoyles here. And they're going to pour everything that they've got into this Scout Sentinel up here. So this is going to be on 5s again. Getting a much better spread of hits here. Half and half. And Strength 5 going into the Sentinel. And then Toughness 5 on the Scout Sentinel. So that will be 4 wounds at -1 AP. That'll be 2 wounds going through to the Scout Sentinel, taking it down to 4. Over on the opposite side of the battlefield, the Termagants have 5 of their numbers that are just barely in range of this infantry squad to fire. So they will fire into them on 5s, and then on 3s. Needing 6s to save. Alright, so the first casualties will be from this infantry squad, as 3 of them are taken out by the Termagants. The Venom Cannon from this squad of Tyranid Warriors just barely has line of sight to this Scout Sentinel, so it will fire into it now. And the Warriors did not end up advancing, they just moved onto the battlefield, so this is going to be on their normal 3s. And then on not a 1, so the 1 command point from the Tyranids will go into re-rolling that wound roll. And then that 4 is going to get it. -3 AP for the Venom Cannon is going to go right through the Sentinel's armor for 2 more damage, bringing it down to 2 wounds remaining. Now into the charge phase, the Raveners over here will charge into this Scout Sentinel, needing probably anything other than double ones, and with 6 inches, the Raveners will get in easily. And then everything else that is in range of a charge advanced, that will be the only charge going on to the Raveners into the Scout Sentinel. Raveners are going to use their Rending Claws into the Scout Sentinel, so there's going to be 3s wounding off, or rerolling hit rolls of 1, since they have no ranged weaponry. So turning the 2 1s into 2 hits. And then this is going to be Strength 6 versus Toughness 5, so 3s to wound, at an AP of -5 from being Kraken and charging, so every 3-up is going to be 1 wound. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So definitely enough to take the Scout Sentinel out. It does not explode on its way out. The first unit will be good and gone from the Imperial Guard as the Tyranids begin to close in and start doing damage. But with that, we go to turn 2 for the Imperial Guard. Turn 2 for the Imperial Guard, and the forces of Cadia continue to march forward undaunted by the seemingly endless swarm of the Tyranids that have come to face them. So, over on this flank, we have Infantrymen ready to go and approach the Gene Stealers and Gargoyles. This squad up at the front stood still, so they will be getting the full rerolls of being Cadia and standing still if they are ordered to reroll their 1s to hit, while the Bullgrin have moved on up and are ready to start smashing down the Vile Xenos. The wounded Scout Sentinel has moved on to the objective near the antenna. Not going to be able to actually do the action, but will try its best to act as a distraction and try to bring down as many of the enemies of the Imperium as possible. The Flamers are right and ready to get started flaming down the Griblies over here, while 2 infantry squads are ready to try to end the Raveners on the forward flank, while the Ratlings and Missile Launcher Heavy Weapon Team remain stationary in this building to continue to lend fire support. We're going to go right on to the Psychic phase. We're going to start off with this Primaris Psyker, attempting to manifest Night Shroud, so needing a 6. Getting it with an 8, and that would be down to a 7 because of Shadows in the Warp. So now we will attempt to deny from the Broodlord, and getting it with a 7 is not going to do it. So that will manifest Night Shroud, and again, that -1 to hit is going to go on to the Bullgrin in the center of the board. And at the end of the movement phase, the command squad is going to start to perform the action on this back objective. So they will not be able to do anything else, but they will complete the 2 actions needed on that objective. So now it is just a matter of getting it to the further one. Then we're going to go on to the other Primaris Psyker. He is going to attempt to manifest Psychic Barrier with a 4. That is not going to do it, and we'll save our command point. So that'll go through the Psychic phase. Now on to the Shooting phase. At the start of the shooting phase, the company commander is going to order reroll 1s to hit on this squad thanks to their Vox caster. Then that order is going to bounce out to here, here, and here. So all of these squads are either going to be rerolling full hits or rerolling 1s, depending on whether they moved. So they are going to be rerolling all their hits. Well, this squad, and this squad will be re-rolling their 1s thanks to the order. So now we'll select our targets and start firing. We're going to start off the shooting phase with this plasma gun equipped squad going into the Gene Stealers. The plasma gun is not going to overcharge since there's not really any point to it. So they will be re-rolling 1s from the order. So on 4s, looking for 1s to reroll, and then 6s are automatic wounds from Hammer of the Emperor. So 6 1s to reroll, and then taking out everything that's not a 4 or better. We did get 1, 2, 3, 4 automatic wounds. And luckily it was one of the plasma guns that got to automatically wound. And then strength 3 versus the Gene Stealers, toughness of 4, so 5s. It's going to get us 2 more wounds. And now we will go to their 5-up invuln save for the Gene Stealers. Making 4 of them, so only 2 are going to be taken down from the Gene Stealers. Next, we're going to go into this grenade launcher squad into the Gene Stealers before they die any further and get pulled out of range. So, number of shots for the frag grenade from the grenade launcher. That's going to be 1, going to 3 from the blast. Then we will go into the rest of their shots. Hitting on 4s. And 6s are automatic wounds as a mighty Felinid Xenos beast comes across the battlefield. Apparently allied with the Imperial Guard, taking out some of the Tyranids. Sorry about that. And then going to the rerolls from the order. Getting exactly 1 more hit. Then on 5 to wound. 1 more wound into the pile that is already wounded. Needing 5s again. Alright, a lot worse on that one. So now that is 6 more of the Gene Stealers of the squad dead. Next grenade launcher bearing squad into the gargoyles. So number of shots from the grenade launcher. 2 goes to 3 from blast. And then the rest are going to be in rapid fire range. So we are going to be on 4s, re-rolling everything from being Cadian and staying still with the order. So getting everything that's not a 4 up back into the hand. And then re-rolling. Turning 2 of the misses into automatic wounds. And then rolling for 5s for the las and grenade to wound, only getting 1 more wound. Now on the armor of the gargoyles, which is 6s, and then 5 up feel no pains from being catalysted, only saving 1, so that is half the squad of the gargoyles taken out. And then finally for shooting on this flank, the last grenade squad into the 5 remaining gargoyles. Number of shots for the grenade launcher, 3 shots, with a total of 15 last shots from most but not all being in rapid fire. Re-rolling our 1s into 2 more misses, so taking out everything that's not a 4 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s, automatic wounds. So now on 5s, none of those, so 6s, make 1, and then 5s for catalyst, make 2. So only 2 more gargoyles down from that squad's shooting. Over on this side of the battlefield, the company commander is going to order first rank fire, second rank fire to everybody in the squads, including the Flamer squad, to increase number of shots. Then we'll start with the Flamer squad, their Flamers, and the lasguns who are undercover inside of this building. We'll go everything into the Gene Stealers to try to make sure that the Bullgrins still have a good charge. So 3d6 on their Flamers, and then a total of 12 shots from the lasguns going into Gene Stealers. These are the Flamers into the Gene Stealers for the wounds. Very, very good wounding, and then 5 up. Invuln saves on the Gene Stealers to save from the Flamers. Making only 2, so that's going to be 3, 6, 8 of them taken out before we even get to the last shots. And now the last shots into the Gene Stealers. Getting 1 automatic wound, and then wounding on 5s. Alright, so just 1 automatic wound. Doesn't make it, so that's going to only leave 1 of these Gene Stealers alive from the Flamer squad. The wounded infantry squad going into the Raveners with first rank fire, second rank fire placed upon them for all of these shots, and 2 more for there. So on 4s and 5s for the lasgun, and 3s for the plasma, so that will be a wound from the plasma, and then 1, 2, 3 more from the las. So on 4s for the black dice for the las, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds taken by the Raveners. 1.5 of the Raveners are dead from this squad, and now we will wash and repeat from this squad of infantry, putting everything into the Raveners. And that other squad of infantry was enough to fully remove the Raveners from the table. Now we're going to go on to the Scout Sentinel that is still kicking, and it is going to fire its heavy flamer into this lone Gene Stealer to try to take it off of the table. Getting 1 wound, getting 1 wound, and then a 5 up, or else it's gone. Alright, so that Gene Stealer does stick around. So now we will go to the firepower in the tower. We're going to start with the Ratlings firing their sniper shots into the 3-man squad of Tyranid warriors. Hitting on 3s. And getting 3 hits. Strength 4, but looking for 6s. That is going to be 1 wound and a mortal in addition. But that's only going to be 1 wound, so armor save makes it. So 1 mortal wound for 1 of the warriors. Finally, the missile launchers from the heavy weapons team, they're all going to fire crack missiles into the warriors, hitting on 4s, rerolling a 1 from Cadian and staying still. So all hit, 1 automatically wounds, and then strength 8, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. Alright, that's 3 wounds at -3 AP. Gonna go right through their armor, and then that is going to be 3d6 damage. So we have 1 warrior left on 2 wounds, so first damage is a dead warrior, second damage is 2. We are going to use one of our 2 command reroll, or 2 CP to reroll that. That's going to be 3, and then the final is 2, so that leaves 1 warrior left on 1 wound. On to the charge phase for the Imperial Guard. We're going to have the Bullgrin go into this squad of gargoyles up at the front, getting 4 inches, so that is more than enough to get them into melee, and all of them should be able to swing. So now we will go into the fight phase. All of the maul attacks into the gargoyles on 3s, and killing on 2s. Re-rolling for that cocked one. That's 3, 6, 9 dead gargoyles. So all but 1 removed from the table. And that is going to take us through the rest of the turn for Astra Militarum. Now going on to turn 2 for the Tyranids. In turn 2, the Tyranids continue to move up the board to attempt to feast upon the forces of the Imperium. These 2 Gene Stealers have come up to try to start chopping up this infantry squad. The 3 gargoyles left have posted up on this rooftop, while the Broodlord is moving up and trying to be a speed bump for the Bullgrin. The Tyranid Prime has moved up on top of this building, nearby the Termagants. And then in the back, this lone gargoyle left is going to be trying to run interference. Going on to the psychic phase, the Broodlord is going to attempt to manifest Night Shroud, or not Night Shroud, attempt to manifest Catalyst on an 11. Might as well try to deny with one of the primary psychers, but is not going to do it. So Catalyst will succeed, and Catalyst is going to go on to the 20 bug squad of Termagants over on that flank. Now we're going to go on to the shooting phase for the bugs. We're actually going to start off with the Termagants as well. They are a 20-man strong squad, so we are going to split 10 and 10. 10 are going to fire into this infantry squad, and 10 are going to fire into this infantry squad. So we're going to start into the plasma gun squad up front. So the already wounded one, hitting on 4s, taking out our misses, and then wounding on 3s at -1, so needing 6s. Make 1, fail 2. That's going to be 2 more guardsmen gone out of that squad. And then going into the full squad right next to them. Hitting on 4s. Then wounding on 3s. So 3 wounds again, needing 6s. And 3 from that squad do fall to the Termagants. These 3 gargoyles are going to attempt to shoot into this infantry squad that the Gene Stealers are eyeing up for a charge. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 3s, needing 6s to save. failing 2. So that is going to be 2 of the guardsmen gone. He'll go into this one gargoyle over here, and he'll shoot into that 5-man squad of guardsmen right there. So on a 4, and then a 3. Nope. So now moving on to the next unit to shoot. The Tyranid Prime is going to shoot his Death Spitter into the Heavy Flamer Scout Sentinel, so hitting on 2s, and then wounding on 4s. 2 at -2 AP, so needing both of these to be 6s. They are not, so that will be the Scout Sentinel gone. Does it blow up? It does not. So that is one more Sentinel done for the Imperial Guard, as the Broodlord does not want to stay standing where he was. There you go. This is actually going to be the last of the shooting from the Tyranids. Now the Tyranid Warrior shooting into the Bulgarin with his Venom Cannon. D3 shots. 2 shots. On 3s. And then that's going to be strength 8, so needing a 3. So that's a wound, -3 AP. We're going to take one of these on the 4-up invuln shield, so needing a 4-up. Not making it, and that's going to be 2 damage into the Bulgarin. And that's going to do it for the shooting phase. Into charges, this lone Gene Stealer is going to go into the special weapons squad with the Flamers. The Imperial Guard are not going to waste Overwatch on one Gene Stealer, so he makes it in easily. Now the Broodlord into the Bulgarin with a 5, makes it in with the Broodlord. Now these 2 Gene Stealers into this infantry squad, and this is where the Guard are going to use Overwatch. We got 3 wounds through on the Gene Stealers, but they were actually able to make all of their 5-up invuln saves, and then even with a 3, they will make it in easily to melee. The Broodlord has fight first and reroll hits for his Warlord trait. We're going to start off the fight phase for the Tyranids with the Broodlord 6 attacks into the Bulgarin. Hitting on 2s, re-rolling the 1. So that's a full suite of hits. And then strength 5 into the Bulgarin. Getting to re-roll the wound. So that's going to be re-rolling 3 of them. 2 of those are going to be at AP -5, the rest at AP -3. So we will take these on 4-up invulns to start. So we will have to do these one at a time, as one of the Brute Shields has 1 wound, and we only have 1 other Brute Shield left, depending on how far we get into the saves. So we will start with the AP -5. So 4-up, makes it. 4-up, makes it. 4-up, makes it. Alright, and we finally have a fail there. And then finally we will take this on a Slab Shield, since this is -3 AP, so this will take us to a 5-up. Fails it, but that's 2 damage. So that is only 1 of the Bulgarin down from the Broodlord. Now we're going to go into the Lone Gene Stealer into the Special Weapons Squad on 3s. And on 3s, 2 of them will be going through at AP -3. That's going to, or AP -4. because Kraken end on the charge. So that'll be 2 taken out of that squad. Then real quickly we can hop right into the Gene Stealers into this squad. 8 attack on 3s. And then 3s to kill. So that'll be 3 more dead Imperial Guardsmen from that squad. Then that'll take us through the fights for the Tyranids. So now we go on to the counterpunch from the Imperial Guard. 5 Guardsmen into 2 Gene Stealers on 4s. Hitting abysmally on a 5. Nope, so they will not do anything there. And then the 4 attacks from the Special Weapons Squad into their Gene Stealer. Hitting twice, wounding on 5s, getting 1, so 5 up. That's not, or 4 up, since it's in melee, but either way, that's not going to do it. That will take out the 1 Gene Stealer, and just leave us to the Bullgrin into the Broodlord. Bullgrin into the Broodlord with their attacks on 3s. And then strength 7 versus toughness 5, so on 3s. And a 4-up invulnerable save from the, or 4-up invuln from the Broodlord. That's going to be 4 at damage 2, so that would be 8 wounds. They are going to spend 1 reroll to try to keep the Broodlord alive, and that will keep him alive on 1 wound remaining. And then that'll be it for turn 2 for the Tyranids. So we'll do some morale for the Imperial Guardsmen and then go on to their turn 3. Turn 3 for the Imperial Guard, and before movement, we did end up taking some casualties due to morale. So this squad is down to 2. This squad was able to pass morale, but this squad got hit pretty hard. So they are also only down to 2 guardsmen left in that squad. So with that, we are going to move on to turn 3 movement for the Imperial Guard. At the end of the movement phase, the Cadian lines continue to move up towards the antenna in the back. This 2-man squad fell back from the Gene Stealers, while the rest of the squads moved up. I did forget that I was supposed to take a morale test on the Special Weapons Squad, and unfortunately one of them did end up running to morale. But other than that, the rest of the Infantrymen have moved up, other than this squad stood still, as well as the Ratlings and Heavy Weapons squads in the tower. We're going to go right into a quick psychic phase. This Primera Psyker is going to try to smite off these 2 Gene Stealers, so getting a 5 with a 10. And we might as well try to deny with the Broodlord. Doesn't make it. So D3, and so looking for a 3 up to smite away both of the Gene Stealers, but that will unfortunately only be one of them taken away. Then same thing over here for this Primera Psyker. We're going to see if we can try to smite off that lone gargoyle from the table. So 7, going down to a 6 from Shadow in the Warp. We'll get it off of the table. Now we're going to go on to the shooting phase. The company commander right over here is going to order all of these squads in this general area to first rank fire, second rank fire to increase their number of shots. A lot of cleanup done over on this flank of the battlefield. This squad just rapid fired into the lone Gene Stealer and took it out handily, while this squad fired up into the 3 Gargoyle squad and took them off the table. Now we're going to move on to this infantry squad. They are going to fire everything that they've got into the Termagant squad. over on the far flank. So blue dice are the grenade launcher, getting max shots from blast, and getting hits on 4s, looking for 6s for those automatic wounds. Looking like this after the hit. And now for the wounds. Getting these out of the way for the wounds, and then armor saves of 6 up. Taking those out. And then catalyst saves of 5 ups. Saving 2. So 4 termagants gone from that big blob over there. Now we're going to move on to this flank of the battlefield. So the company commander is going to issue first rank fire, second rank fire as well to maximize number of shots. That's only going to end up affecting this squad over here. But we will pump everything, including the flamers, the rest of the squad, and this 2-man squad into the termagants to try to clear up the last of the big bug hordes off the table. After the infantry squads were said and done, we have 8 termagants remaining in the squad before we go to the heavy weapons team, who will fire their frag grenades down here into the bugs. 3d6 number of shots from the frag missiles, bringing that one up to a 6, so that's going to be 12 total shots from the missile launchers. 4s, rerolling 1s from staying still as Cadian. So taking those 2s and 3s out, and then 1, 2, 3 automatic wounds. And then to wound is 3s, so we end up with a total of 7 at 6 up armor saves, make 2 of them, and then the invuln, so 3 more bugs dead from that squad from the missile launchers. For the final bit of shooting, the ratlings are going to start trying to pick off the Tyranid Prime with their sniper rifles, looking for 3s. And then 5s to wound. No wounds there. So our final bit of shooting, it does go wide from the ratlings. Now to ponder whether we have any charges that we would like to do. With only 1 wound left on the Broodlord and him having fight first, we are going to send this infantry squad to fight the Broodlord, hoping to take his 1 wound off before he can continue to thin down the herd of Bulgrin. So charging into the Broodlord with a 3, I am not 100% sure whether that is going to do it for them. So excuse the fingers, but yes, we are within 3, so that is going to barely, but barely get the infantrymen into the fight with the Broodlord. And to essentially ensure that we're going to have infantry on the back objective to continue doing the actions, we also charged in with the Flamer squad, as well as this squad of infantry. That will do it for the charge phase, so now we will go into the fight phase, and I'll fight with this squad of infantry in the front to try to take out the Broodlord before he gets to swing. And we're going to end up with 7 attacks from this infantry squad onto the Broodlord on 4s. Getting 3 hits, needing 6s to wound. No wounds there, so we will unfortunately not be able to kill the Broodlord. But he now does have to pick his choice of who he wants to kill to try to survive. I think the option, or the best choice, is still going into the Bulgrin, so hitting on 2s, so he gets a full roll of hits, and then wounding on 4s, re-rolling. So will fail to wound once, but 3 of those are going to be at AP -5. So 1 of those will unfortunately have to go on to the slab shield that we last allocated wounds to, so that will be a dead Bulgrin. Now we're going to go back to the brute shield for the 4 Binvoln. Fails it, so he is left with 1 wound. Makes it, then 4 Binvoln, makes it, and 4 Binvoln does not make it. So that will kill 2 of the Bulgrin off. That will leave 2 of them still standing to swing back to the Broodlord. Gonna go right into the Bulgrins into the Broodlord, hitting on 3s. Getting 3 hits, wounding on 3s as well. Getting 3 wounds, so all of these need to be 4-ups for the Broodlord to stay alive. Make 2 fail 1. We will use a reroll from the Tyranids to see if we can make it. We do make it, so the Broodlord does survive the clapback from the Bulgrin. Now to see if the Humble Guardsman can take him down. Into turn 3 for the Tyranids, we can do this rapid fire. At this point, all of the remaining bugs have moved up to try to continue to consume this biomass. We're going to go right into shooting phase. The Termagants are going to fire into this infantry squad. 4s and 3s. 6s to save for the infantry. 2 more infantry dead there. Death Spitter from the Prime into that same squad. On 2s. Then 3s. 1 at -2, so that will be 1 less guardsman left. Then final shot will be the Venom Cannon into the Bulgrin. D3 shots. 2 shots. On 3s. On 3s. Nope. Then on to the charge phase. Remaining warrior will go into the 2 flamers. Prime will go into the 4-man squad there. Go right into the fight phase for the Prime. 4 attacks into the Guardsmen on 2s. Then Bone Sword, Strength 7, so 2s. And that's going to be 4 at -2. So that will take out that squad at the very least. And then the 1 remaining Tyranid warrior with 3 attacks into the 2 flamer guardsmen. All hit. Again with the bone sword, so strength 7, so 2 to kill. And will take them out in close combat. So at this point we will go into turn 4 for the guardsmen. So it looks like they will be able to wrap things up with the last 3 squads of Tyranids dead or dying on the table in front of them. Turn 4 for the Astra Militarum. It was a tight squeeze, but the guardsmen were able to barely both get within range and stay out of an inch of the Prime and Warrior. So this squad that is doing the conga line backwards will be taking the action on this objective. As long as we are able to use the firepower of the guard to good effect, we will be able to get the bugs off the table and secure a victory. So, really quickly, we'll just go through the psychic phase, smiting these Termagants. 4d3, taking 1 of them off. Then we'll go to the shooting phase. Start with this squad right over here, the Flamer and the Laz into the squad right here, and the Melta into the Prime. heavy flamer shots, 2 shots, killing on 3s, kills 1 more of them, and then 2 of the las guns, 1 automatic wound, then on a 4, nope, 6 up, takes another Termagant off the table. We can go right to this squad right here, Plasma and Las into the 2 Termagants left, Plasma gun, re-rolling because he did stay still, killing on a 2, kills 1, and then the Las pistol, misses. We've only got 1 Termagant left. Pistol from the commander, hits and kills it. And then we have all this squad shooting into the remaining warrior. We have the Bulgrin going to charge into the prime, and the missile launchers going to fire into the prime as well. The missile launchers took out the prime, and this squad of infantry took out the remaining warrior, making it a tabling for the forces of Hive Fleet Kraken and a victory for the loyal guardsmen of the Cadian Regiment. So, that was a pretty good showing of the shooting and how even if you've got overwhelming numbers like the Tyranids can do, sometimes the best weapon is the ever-faithful and ever-humble las gun. So, thank you everybody for tuning in yet again. Hope you enjoyed the battle report. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out the description for ways to support me if you wouldn't mind giving a little bit of monetary support to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, just make sure you keep on keeping on, and I will see you in the next war zone of the 41st millennia. Bye-bye.